Okay, today we're installing our vinyl wraps for the door controls on your Model 3 Highland or Model Y Juniper. We're going to be doing it on Juniper, but the technique is basically the same. The set looks broadly similar as well. So in the kit you get the full wrap kit, and then you get some cleaning wipes and a soft squeegee. In terms of preparation, obviously we're going to clean the surface as we go. I really recommend, if you can, putting whichever vinyl you choose in the freezer. All of our vinyl is 3M 2080, so especially for the carbon fibre and the matrix black, our two favourites. It's a much thicker vinyl than some of the competitors like the Avery, but it's just, if you put it in the freezer, it helps sort of with the rigidity of the vinyl, makes it less floppy, and then it also helps the adhesive be less tacky as well. So especially for the intricate pieces like the driver's side, just makes the installation easier. So we're going to start on the back, then we'll go to the passenger, then we'll go to the driver. Both back doors are the same, just mirrored. But we'll end up with the driver's side just because that's the most fiddly. And I would allow maybe 30 minutes to complete the installation. All right, let's go. We're going to start on the passenger rear door. As also mentioned, I have the vinyl in the freezer at the moment, so we're just going to give this a clean up first before we go rescue that. So when you're cleaning it, obviously, especially with the textured vinyl, so we're doing carbon fibre, which is more forgiving than the flat vinyls, the satin whites, satin blacks, matte blacks and so on. So be diligent with your cleaning, be extra diligent if you're using one of the flat vinyls, but the matrix and the carbon fibres are a little bit more forgiving. Be sure to get underneath here as well, underneath the little window button, just because we wrap it over there and that's maybe where some dirt can accumulate. Okay, I'll go get the vinyl. Okay, as you can see, it's a little crispy. But this is one we're going for. Whenever we're installing this stuff, we always do the surround first, and then we do the buttons because it helps with alignment. And then be sure to make sure your hands or fingers are clean as well. We normally recommend not touching the back of the vinyl, but it's really impossible not to with this because it's kind of an intricate installation. So I'm going to pass it through here, and then I'm just going to sort of let it lay flat. So you can see it's still moving around. It's not stuck at all. Need to bring it this way a little bit, and what I'm looking at is the alignment around the button opening and then just the alignment along these edges. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to tap it into place for now. I'm going to look down here. It looks like I'm just a little bit too far away over here, which is why it's buckling up over here. So I'm just going to pull that back, start again. When it finds its happy place, if you like, it will fit perfectly. So that's really what I'm looking for, and that looks better to me. So now I'm going to just apply a little bit of pressure all over. If you get any stress ripples or whatever like you just saw, just put it back. We're going to try not to stress the vinyl, right? This is a simple installation, so this is why we recommend you don't take these pieces to body shops or wrap shops, because they're used to using heat and everything else to get the vinyl to lay right, and that's completely unnecessary for these pieces. They're designed for DIY install, and they're designed to just fit the first time perfectly without any kind of manipulation with any heat or anything like that. So just bring that around there, bring that around there. So be diligent in terms of getting the air bubbles out. And then I'm just going to pull this over here, just put it over the edge. So that all looks pretty good. And then we're going to grab the button. And then for the buttons, I recommend using the squeegee as kind of your tool. And then the technique is the same for all of these. So for the door release and for the window buttons, we use the tiny hole that's been cut out of the vinyl to line up with the light there. So use that to your benefit. So I'm kind of looking down over the top of it as best I can. I've got a camera in the way. And then when that light comes through the little hole, just going to tap it into place, and then just wrap it over the edge here like that. And there we go. So this is the passenger side. The driver's side rear door is exactly the same. It's just a mirror image of this. So now we're going to go to the passenger front. Okay, I managed to forget to do the door release button. So these are all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one now. And the technique is sort of the same as the window buttons. So use the graphic as the clue. And when you peel this back, be extra careful, just because this middle bit here is really just holding on by a very small piece of vinyl. So we're just going to peel this back carefully, like so. And same thing, I'm going to not use that, I'm going to use my squeegee as my positioning tool. And we're going to float it over again until we get to the point where the whole of the, there it is, I don't want to let it go. So when the whole of the car is shining, coming through the cutout, you know your work perfectly aligned. I'm just going to apply some pressure and then wrap it over there. So they're all the same, the door release buttons, just you know, mirrored versions of each other. Okay, with that, let's get the main control done. So we'll give it a clean. This is a lot like the rear doors, other than you have the emergency release here as well. It's the same thing, get underneath that button. Get around here. Lovely. Then we're going to grab the main section again, so it's this piece here. And then we're going to kind of bring it back down into the right spot. Oops, hold on, I grabbed entirely the wrong piece. Grab the rear passenger, sorry about that. So the one we want to grab is this one, obviously. Okay, and then we're just going to creep that around the handle and just sort of let that sit down in place. So same thing, I'm trying to avoid applying any pressure so it kind of moves around nicely. Looking at all these edges, it needs to come towards me just a tad, I can see, so we're going to do that. Okay, not happy with that. Let's pick that back up. Just go again. There we go. Okay, so that's good around the opening. It's good around here. It's good along that edge. So that looks perfect. Let's get some squeegeeing. And then just got a little sort of bubble here. Don't try and force this out, just pull this back a little bit. Relieve whatever pressure is on there. And then it'll go down cleanly. And typically it's because of the cutout here, so it just got kind of slightly distorted as we sort of lay the rest of it down. So definitely not a big deal. I'm going to tug on that bit, pull that down. Then this one over here, maybe use a squeegee just to kind of guide it down past the Alcantara or cloth trim, whatever you have. Just bring that there. Okay, next up we're going to do the window control. This bit's pretty easy. As before, kind of get over the top of it. Oops. Stick it to your squeegee, a bit better than I did. Get over the top of it and float it until you see the indicator come through, just like that. Wrap that. And then last but not least, the emergency release. Be a little careful when peeling this off, just gets a bit fragile around that triangle. But we're going to use that for our alignment point as well. So just kind of float it into place. There we go. Apply some pressure, kind of pull and wrap around the bottom edge, and then just finish up with the squeegee. Okay, now we're going to go to the driver's door. Okay, so we're going to give this a quick clean as well. Don't forget, get underneath all of the buttons around here. Get this door release done as well. Can't see that. Okay, let's get the vinyl out of the freezer. And the first bit we're going to do is this U shape or horseshoe shape. Oops, excellent. So I'm just going to peel this back, get rid of the dog hair that just landed on it. And then kind of guide it in with both hands. And then we're just going to get this side settled first. So I'm looking at the corner here, and then obviously just the alignment alongside the sort of button cutout. Okay, looking pretty good. And I'm just going to lift this back up again, bring this around this back area here. So this is where I sort of mentioned to take your time. I might be making this look a little easier than it is going to be for you. It's not difficult, but you know, before I did this video, in fact this is my second go at this video because the lighting was just not working on the first video as I worked out. And I've also installed all the colours, so I've got quite a bit of recent experience on this, so don't expect your installation to go as quickly as this does, but equally don't be disheartened. Just take your time with it and it'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so that's nicely in place now. So now we'll just do the buttons as always. So we need to pay more attention to the alignment of the buttons here just because we've got 4 of them. So we're going to start with the back left. Again, get over the top, place it. I'll roll it over in a second. We're going to do all of them like this. Do this next one, like so. So now I'm looking at you know, both the cutout and then its alignment next to its neighbour. The way we've designed the vinyl pattern is that the weave, if you like, of the carbon fibre will always flow through, so it looks very natural in that regard. Okay, now we're going to do this button here. Same thing, just float it until you get over the white indicator, and then we'll do this last one. And then we'll wrap them all down. Okay, right there. Perfect. Okay, so for these front ones, they go all the way to the bottom like that. And then just wrap over this leading edge. And then same for these back ones, just wrap this edge over. Get a squeegee on there just to finalize things. And then we just need to do the emergency release. So this is the same as before. Just float it over, get the triangle lined up. Then wrap it over. And then the very last thing is the door control. Bring that around. Okay, for this one we are going for this one here. I have to think about it as well, so don't worry if you spend a minute staring at it thinking what's what. So hopefully you can see on my head camera, just sort of floating it around till it lines up perfectly. And then just bringing that around like that. Okay. So there you go, that's how you wrap the door controls on your Model 3 Juniper, and then Highland, as I mentioned, is basically the same, just a slightly different shape. Thanks for watching.